Can scoliosis be misdiagnosed? Scoliosis is a leading spinal condition among school-age children, and current estimates have close to 7 million people living with scoliosis in the United States alone. Now, scoliosis is a condition that involves the curves developing in the spine. And however, there are other conditions that could affect the spinal position. There are very specific characteristics of scoliosis that normally once scoliosis is seen on an x-ray, it makes it difficult to misdiagnose. However, scoliosis initially is diagnosed through a physical examination and normally a postural evaluation in children. Oftenly, until the curve becomes significant, many times scoliosis never gets diagnosed because scoliosis in children doesn't cause a lot of pain or discomfort. However, once the physical examination is performed and there's a postural evaluation that's done that's positive, once x-rays are performed and the actual x-rays actually determine that there is a scoliosis, scoliosis itself is difficult to misdiagnose once it's seen on an x-ray. Now, in order for it to be considered true scoliosis, there has to be a specific number of parameters for there to be called a scoliosis. First thing is that there has to be a curvature of the spine, and the curvature of the spine needs to be at least 10 degrees or greater. In addition, there must be rotation or a twist into the concavity of the scoliosis, making scoliosis a complex three-dimensional condition. And once both these parameters have been met, we can diagnose the patient with scoliosis. Now, a Cobb angle is a measurement that's taken during an x-ray that involves drawing lines from the topmost tilted vertebra to the bottommost tilted vertebra into the respective curve. And then these most tilted vertebrae are compared in degrees, resulting in the Cobb angle. The higher the Cobb angle, the more severe the scoliosis and the more noticeable the effects are. And the scoliosis will be diagnosed anywhere from mild to moderate to severe or very severe. Now, unfortunately, scoliosis, until it becomes more moderate to severe stages, a lot of times a postural evaluation may go unnoticed. And a lot of times it may be small postural deviations that what we see initially, and very oftenly that they may not find the postural evaluation, so therefore the x-ray is never taken. So instead of scoliosis being misdiagnosed, what happens oftenly with scoliosis, it gets undiagnosed. In fact, we only believe we catch about 30 to 40% of all cases of scoliosis while they're in their childhood state or childhood state. A lot of them get undiagnosed until they start progressing in the adult stage when they start feeling pain. And then when they start feeling pain in the adult form, they're diagnosed because they take an x-ray and they find scoliosis and they say, okay, well, you have adolescent scoliosis, even though the patient didn't know it. So misdiagnosis in scoliosis isn't common, but undiagnosis is. It just gets totally missed because the not causing enough symptoms as a child to lead to that diagnosis. Now, once scoliosis is diagnosed, how do we respond to this? Well, when we look at scoliosis, what we have to understand that there's no cure. And we're looking at preserving the spinal health for long-term and long-term function. There's two really main approaches when we look between how we want to treat it. Something I call traditional approaches to scoliosis treatment, and something else I call conservative approaches to scoliosis treatment. Traditional scoliosis treatment doesn't have any strategy for addressing scoliosis while it's mild. And when it's in this mild form, it's when scoliosis is most likely to respond to conservative treatments. And in the mild form, traditional approaches pretty much do nothing, and they wait and they waste valuable time while the curve has a chance of progressing during growth stages. Conservative treatment options are more proactive. They start treatment as close to the time of diagnosis as possible. And the reason is because if you treat a small curve, you're much less likely to develop a severe curve. The more scoliosis progresses, the more difficult it is to treat. So being proactive with treatment is the key to success. So we understand that scoliosis is a complex three-dimensional spinal condition that has very unique features on an x-ray that make it difficult to misdiagnose. However, the most common feature with scoliosis is that it never gets diagnosed. It's undiagnosed because it doesn't cause enough symptoms, enough problems until the curve progresses into moderate to severe levels. Here at the center, we always diagnose scoliosis with a proactive approach, meaning once we see scoliosis, we know the earlier we detect it and the earlier we intervene, there's fewer limits that can be achieved to the outcome with that patient's scoliosis. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this information helpful. If you'd like to hear about other topics and information on scoliosis, type in the comments below and let us know. And finally, subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified of when we publish content. Thanks.